I'm a pursuant of truth, and I will do whatever it takes to exist around my core.
When was it?
I'll handle it.
Rise up your flag and run. Rise up, rise up, rise up your flag. Rise up, rise up, rise up your flag and run.
I think I was a rebel without wanting to be a rebel, and that's kind of a theme that's carried on into my adulthood. I can't remember a time when I didn't feel like I was different. And that knowing was really uncomfortable. When I started noticing my body change when I was 8 or 9, I just hid it and I started to dress like a boy because I really didn't want to become a woman. That was when my parents split up, music and artistic expression became my haven, my space to save myself, to make things make sense again. And that's been an interesting experience now as a happier adult, because things are quite balanced for me now, and I've created, you know, a life that I really want to live, that I'm good. I was a musical theater major at NYU. Going to NYU was always like this huge dream of mine. So I was in this school that I basically just couldn't afford, and I was just like doing everything on credit and then just accruing debt. And meanwhile, I was bartending in order to be able to afford books and my pianist and all of these things that music majors needed to afford. I was working all night until 4 or 5, and then I would wake up at 8 and go to school, and all in an effort to basically feed this thing that was my religion, that was my God. Because I don't do this for someone else to receive me. I do this because it's me. I thought I'd move to India for a couple of months, and I would just write a record and then I would go back to New York. I landed in India with no real friends, no money, and no place to stay. And in that space, I bumped into Randolph again at Zenzi. So yeah, then he and I fell in love, and we started dating, and then we formed SHAA'IR FUNC. And then we just wrote 3 records in 3 years, because we had and continue to have quite a tumultuous relationship. And I think the independent scene began as really a call to action, and a very strong and tight-knit group of people in various industries interacting with each other in an effort to carve out a space for the new Indian. You know, many kids who are born and brought up in India grow up speaking English and listening to ABBA and the Beatles and AC/DC, and this is their cultural identity. It's not construed, it's not false, it's not an effort to be Western, it just is. That's the way that they're brought up. And what I wanted to do was to grow a scene that we're experiencing today. So I definitely feel that this independent indie music scene, that I had a huge hand in building a lot of it. If not directly, then definitely indirectly. Someone watching this who wants to enter into the scene, a few nuggets of advice. I think the first one would be, and I say this all the time and I really mean it, is spend time with yourself, figuring out who you are. Don't look outside yourself for who you want to be. And the second word of advice I would give is, don't set on your journey of being an artist with a timeline. If you have a backup plan, you'll end up in your backup plan. And if you put conditions on your love, I guarantee that God or the forces that exist above you will make sure that they test you, and they'll make that test come true. You won't succeed in 3 years because the universe will want to know if you love it enough to keep on going, to persevere, to be that relentless. So yeah, my advice is don't give up. Don't put conditions on your love. That's not the way it works. I didn't have this fear of needing to live up to someone's expectation because there was no one around. And that's kind of a gift in a way, because it's not even like I was fearless. I just had nothing to lose. Either I was gonna be poor and continue to be poor, or I was gonna it was like nothing. I had no height to fall from. So I suppose I would tell future entrepreneurs or people who really want to expand out into industries that are full of risk is that, nothing exciting, it comes without risk. And there's no point in being alive if you're not going to feel that thrill of the unknown. There's no freaking point. Point out someone who is taking, doing what everyone's told them to do, who is shining and vibrating with excitement and courage and happiness and telling you stories that are going to inspire you. I love Henry David Thoreau's quote, "All this worldly wisdom was once the unamiable heresy of one wise man." So being a heretic is on point. Buddha was a heretic. All of these gods. Jesus was a heretic. So be a heretic, start f***ing shit up, because that's the way it works. That's just the way it works.
Love it.
Why would I be on the cover of Maxim or FHM, and why would I not be okay with doing an item song? For me, an item song is not my voice, but in Maxim or an FHM, I'm being featured as Monica Dogra. My artistic legacy still exists if I'm photographed in underwear or if I'm photographed in a dress. And I'm sexualized without me wanting to be when I just walk down the street, or when I walk the red carpet, or at my gigs when men will show up and stick their cameras under my dress and try and photograph up my dress. So this is a way for me to take back my power and present myself in a way that I'm completely comfortable with. I absolutely do identify as being a feminist. I always have, and I will continue to until I feel like we have a balance, which we clearly do not. For me, feminism, I love what Ani DeFranco says. She says, feminism is not about equality, it's about reprieve. We need to make up for a lot of time lost and a lot of damage done. So that requires a balancing that will need to go here before it can go here. Yeah, and I encourage, my favorite men in the world are feminists. I think the hottest men in the world are feminists. There's so many women doing just incredible work. The thing is that we need to start integrating more. If we started to really integrate and work together more, we would all kind of create a tidal of this change that we're so desperately looking for.